Well, hello, everybody. This is a question that will evoke responses from everybody because everyone is well aware and alert to what this is all about. And this is the noise that you're going to hear when there is an Amber Alert. Now, there's all kinds of different emergency alerts that are out there, but that's the one of them. Now, this is from my other phone. I just played a little bit of the audio. There is no Amber Alert right now, but I want to talk to you about a conversation I had today about a gentleman who called me and who wanted to talk about it. He really wanted to express his displeasure with the situation that unfolded. Now, we haven't had an Amber Alert now for a couple of weeks, but there was one recently, and it happened in the middle of the night. The complainant, the person who I talked to, was rather agitated that his phone woke him up, and it actually woke him up 4 times. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what Amber Alerts are, why they are, what they do, and how they work, and the criteria. First of all, an Amber Alert is really of the utmost importance in terms of investigative tool that we can use to get public's assistance. There's criteria. We don't just haphazardly put an Amber Alert when we have a missing child or a wandering Alzheimer's patient or anything that is suspect. This is for children. This is for children under the age of 18. This is for children under the age of 18 who have been abducted. This is for children under the age of 18 who have been abducted and who are in danger, that the police believe. And I'll repeat it again, for children under 18 who are in danger, who have been abducted and is in danger, that needs to be located immediately. And there's information that we have that we can share with the public to get the public to assist us in getting that information out and looking around the province anywhere for this person. Now, there needs to be a child. That person needs to be, the child is believed to have been abducted. The child is in danger, and there's information that we can share that will assist in locating this child. So if that information is there, we are going to put out an alert system. Now, the OPP are the ones that actually coordinate and manage that system. They're the ones that actually put the information out. If other police services have information that they want to have on the Amber Alert system, they will send it to us and we will input the data, and within moments it'll be out across the province. It goes out through this national alerting, the NAD system, which is the National Alert Aggregation Dissemination, and that will go to televisions, to radio stations, to overhead billboard signs, and of course to your cell phone. Now, the gentleman who called me today was quite annoyed that he got woken up 4 times. Now, typically it'll only come out probably twice, and I want to hear from you as well. So, is it a pain? Is it a nuisance, or is it an assistance? So, nuisance or assistance? Tell me what you want. I'd like to see what your comments are. Who are the haters and who are the lovers of this program? I have 2 phones actually. Well, maybe more, but of the phones that I have, one of them is my bat phone, and that phone is always on, and that's the phone that alerted me on the last Amber Alert. The other phone didn't go off. It's because it was on silent. Now, if you don't want to get these types of alerts when you're sleeping, when you go to bed, put your phone on silent. It won't go off. When you wake up in the morning, you might see an alert there, and you can acknowledge it. Now, this gentleman got 4 alerts. Now, I can probably tell him why he got those alerts. It's because he got the alert and did nothing about it. He didn't acknowledge it, and it will re-alert 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later. It'll keep going and going until you alert it. I remember on one recent Amber Alert, I had it on my phone, and I just looked at it. I did not acknowledge it, and then I got it again 5 minutes later, and 5 minutes later, and 5 minutes later, until I actually acknowledged it, because this is of utmost importance. The police officers that are investigating this know that the child's been abducted, the child's in danger, and we need everyone to take a look around to see if they can see this person, the suspect, this vehicle. So when that alert goes off, everyone in the province gets the information. And basically, in those next 20 or 30 seconds, you look around, and any vehicle that you see or any person that you see is also getting likely that same alert. And if you see the suspect, call 911. If you don't see the suspect, keep your eyes open, but it's probably maybe not be in your area. I can tell you that by the time we understand that the person has gone missing, and by the time that alert goes out, there's usually some time that has elapsed, and that person could be anywhere within the province. You can move very quickly across the province on highways, on transits, on all kinds of systems. And so, because the person was maybe abducted out of Toronto, and someone in Ottawa sees it and thinks it's irrelevant, well, there's a very good chance that that person could already be in Ottawa or very close to Ottawa or in Sarnia or in Thunder Bay. Who knows where this person could be? What do you guys think? I haven't been reading comments, but do you like the fact that this Amber Alert is there as a tool to have the public help the police, or do you think it's a nuisance? I'd like to hear about it. People that complain about these Amber Alerts have nothing better to do is complain. Well, yeah, maybe. So I chatted with this guy this morning who called me, and I said, this information goes out on television. Yes, you love it. Thank you very much, Janet. You love it. It goes on televisions, on radios, on TV screens, and on your cell phone. Yes, I love it. Pigs are not a nuisance. Sausage, you can get great hot dogs, but they're a source of meat if you like meat. If you're a vegetarian, you must be a vegetarian. So it is a fantastic program. It's an amazing program, and it became a program as a result of a poor child who was killed, and we were not able to get that information out. You think it's great? Thank you very much. Are great, and they work absolutely. Pigs equals police. Police like hot dogs. Who would like to abduct a kid? It's more a liability than that. Ring it loud. Absolutely. So if you don't want to hear that noise, turn your phone to silent. You're not likely going to be much benefit to us as an investigation unfolds if you're sleeping in bed. So we're not trying to wake you up. What we're trying to get the attention of everybody who is awake, who's out in the community, who has eyes on their neighborhood, to take a look around. Do you see this suspect vehicle, whatever it may be? Do you see a person? Do you see a child? If you don't see it, we have pretty good saturation of people all across the province. And if, let's say, you are the bad guy and that alert goes off, pretty much you can look around and everyone that you see is getting the same information. And that's going to make that person pretty nervous, I would suspect. Show around the, well, we're talking about Amber Alerts here right now. So 12, don't know what that means. But people with phone 911 complaint should be issued a punishment. Do you know what? It takes away resources. People are calling 911 all the time. Sometimes it's going to be for a medical emergency, for an assault, a crisis that's going on, or maybe it's someone who's giving a lead or a tip regarding this Amber Alert investigation. I've been up to our 911 center at our communication center, and they are busy. And when someone calls in to complain to essentially waste that call taker's time, that is time taken away from them answering the next call that's in the queue. Because very often there are calls queued up, and everyone who's calling 911 is calling it because of an emergency. And if you're calling because you got woken up, that is certainly not an emergency. So please think about what you're doing. The information that we have is so important, and the family members who are desperately looking for their children want nothing more than for everyone in the province, around the world, wherever it is, to help them find their child and bring them back. From England, keep up the good work. Thank you very much. So, is there anyone out there who finds this a nuisance? I want to actually have a conversation chat with someone who thinks this is ridiculous, that it is a nuisance and it shouldn't be happening. If that is you, why don't you join me online and let's have a chat. Lots of time to have real issues to be addressed. Anyone complaining? Well, it's all gonna wake me up anytime. I wish I could help find that kid. Absolutely, thank you. So again, this is not going to be used for the Alzheimer patient who's 90 years old, who is wandering even in the cold of night. It's not going to be used. And the fact is that that person could die from exposure in hours or minutes. But the Amber Alert is not for that purpose. Sadly, it's not for that purpose because we don't want to oversaturate and overuse that system. So when that Amber Alert goes off, it is of the highest critical importance that we get this information out and that people help us. And hopefully within minutes, we can get a tip saying, hey, I see that vehicle, I see that person, and we will get officers in that area to descend on that area to find out what's going on. So as sad as it is, if you're missing someone who is not a child and they are feared lost or in a vulnerable position, the Amber Alert's not there. We're still going to use every investigative tool that we can to cover and search and saturate an area where we believe they may be, but the Amber Alert system will not be used. It is every parent's worst nightmare, and I hope people understand that if you don't want to get woken up by this, turn your phone to silent. If you get the first alert and you don't want to get it again, turn your phone to silent and acknowledge that message. It won't come again, except there is the odd chance that the first message will come out in English, and then there may be a second message that will come out minutes later in a French and English bilingual version. So typically we would get two messages because we want to get the first one out as quickly as we can, and then we'll get it translated as well to French as well, so everyone that needs to get that information can have it. So so that is that. I hope you learned something. I hope you understand a little bit about our passion about locating these children, because we can't do it alone. The police and the public need to work together, and this is what we're doing. And I hope you can appreciate the fact that the parents or the family members who are looking for this child want every available resource, and that includes millions and millions of people in the province that are going to be able to scan their surroundings. And who knows, one day it's kind of like winning a lottery. One day it's going to be you, and one day that alert's going to go off, and you're going to read it, and it's going to be whatever vehicle is in front of you with a license plate that matches, and you will not believe it. But at that moment, you will call 911, and you have just saved the life of a child. Imagine the feeling that would be. I don't know what it feels like to win a lottery, but I know the feeling of finding a suspect and saving a child couldn't be any more spectacular or amazing. So the Amber Alert system is all over the country, but our system is provincially based, Ontario only. And if it goes beyond that, if we believe the person is outside the province, other police agencies could work with us to extend that Amber Alert outside of our area. So there you have it. Any comments, feedback? I'm not going to take up all your time, but I just want to thank you for listening. Netherlands has it. Thank you very much. Penetang, beautiful. And Minnesota neighbor. All right, neighbors to the south here. Shall report a suicidal periscope idle to periscope or to the police. Call to the police, absolutely, and we'll investigate it. You can report them and flag them on periscope as well, but please call 911. Thank you, Janet. Appreciate that. Don't let the negative deter your message. You know what? I've been getting lots of love here. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the great positive comments. And if you hear people that are frustrated or complaining about it, sometimes it's cool to be the voice of dissension, and it's not. Make sure they understand. Acknowledge the message, and you won't get it repeating itself over and over and over again. And if you don't want to get it while you're sleeping, turn your phone silent. It's just that simple. And one day, when you get that alert and you look up and you see that vehicle or that child or the suspect and you call 911, the feeling of gratification and just absolute joy will be absolutely overwhelming. So thank you. Have yourself an awesome day. Take care and love life.